Hey everybody, it's Maddie Cummins of Cerebrations LLC and Calming the Chaos Collective. I'm your moderator for those of you that don't know me. It's been a little bit of a quieter couple weeks because we're just coming off of our awesome workshop around calming the chaos of anxiety. So, just wanted to come on this Friday and talk about this sense of impending doom. And for me, and what I think is happening is it's different than just having, we talk about this tightness in the chest around anxiety and that we feel like something's sitting on our chest. And I think that that's a very different feeling than the sense of impending doom. I want to go back real quick. So if you're watching this live, say hi because I can't, so I can say hi to you. If you are watching this on replay, just do hashtag replay and then we can follow up. And so we're talking about this sense of impending doom. And for me, it feels like I'm waiting for something awful and horrible to happen. Like I just kind of walk around waiting for a shoe to drop because it just feels like the whole world is just falling apart and I'm waiting for something bad to happen. So again, that's a little bit different for me in the way I think about it instead of having just a tightness. And what I think is really happening, it's really about us predicting in our head the future of this awful thing happening. Whenever I'm walking around with this sense of impending doom, or whenever my clients are walking around with it, we sit and we go through what's really going on, what's in your thoughts, what's in the way that you are reacting to the world, like what's really happening, because that sense of impending doom, 3 Ys, one is because we're trying to predict the future. The second is I think sometimes the anxiety just keeps going on and on and on and on, and we're not dealing with the underlying reasons for the fear. And it's that fear that really then begins to take over the way our brain is working. And so it just begins to do this walking around with this fear of the world ending. And I don't know that that's really the fear, but that's what it kind of feels like, right? Is that you're just waiting for something horrible to happen and you feel like it's coming. And so it's really about trying to figure out where that fear is coming from. The third thing I think that often happens with this, that I see a lot in people with medical issues, that I see a lot with people with life transitions. And honestly, sometimes life is just hard. I mean, I am amazed at the way that people can move through just difficulty after difficulty after difficulty. And so we've had stuff happen. Like it's not that you're making up this sense of impending doom, but you actually have had awful things happen over and over, loss of a loved one, loss of a pet, loss of a job. It's like, it just feels like everything bad is happening and it keeps us from seeing the good stuff in the world. And so the 3 Ys then of impending doom is, that we are trying to control the future in our head. And then the anxiety has just kept going on and on and on, and it keeps building on each other. And the third one is because of life transitions. And honestly, we just sometimes stuff just happens. It feels like it's happening over and over and over to us. So what do we do about it? I think this is a little bit more difficult. And I think sometimes it takes someone like a coach or a counselor walking you through it to be able to sit and go, okay, why the impending doom? Like that's a big, big emotion. And so what's really happening here that we need to understand the underlying core of where it's coming from. One of the things we talk about is when we have the anxiety and the fear, there's always a very like low underlying emotion around not feeling worthy, not feeling lovable, fear of being abandoned. I mean, all of these fears that we're not worth. And so what I think is really important is that you get down to the whys. Why is it really happening? What are the reasons for it happening? What are we going to do about it? So, always with these feelings of impending doom, if it's not something you can get rid of, having someone walk you through that is always very helpful. But if you're trying to do it on your own, there are three things you can do. One is just a brain dump. Just sit and, and I talk about these brain dumps a lot, but there's this process with the brain when you're actually writing that it forces the two parts of your brains to work together. And so it forces the left and the right side. And that makes it harder for you to keep pushing back the emotions and what you're feeling. And I will tell you, when I do this brain dump, it is remarkable how much I start finding out that I didn't even know I was thinking. Like, I just start writing and all this stuff. I'll write about the dog and initially. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything huge and emotionally, earth shattering. I'll just be writing my to-do list. And then suddenly I start writing all this other stuff that I didn't even know I was feeling. So brain dump is one. Two, it's really about trying to get in touch with the positivities instead of looking for this impending doom. And so even people that have been through things after things, like just this constant chaos that feels like it's happening and these awful things that are happening in your life, it really forces your brain to start looking for that negative. And so to stop and just make a list of the things that happened good that day. One of the things I tell my clients is that it doesn't have to be earth shattering. It can be that you had a roof over your head. It could be that you had food to eat, but to list three things every day that went well that day. It could be that you have shoes to wear, that you have a job, that you have family support, that you had a stranger smile at you. They don't have to be these earth shattering things. But one of the ways to start getting rid of this impending doom is to really start looking at, okay, what good is happening that I'm totally missing, because my brain has started really looking for the negative. The third thing is just to hang out with God. And this is so hard to do, but one of the things that happens with this impending doom and with our anxiety is we're really trying to control the future. We're trying to not be surprised by what's happening. We're trying to control the outcome. And when that's not happening in the way that we would like, because it's hard, don't misunderstand me. Sometimes this stuff is just really hard. We start trying to control it more so that we don't feel the emotional pain. And so part of what I think is really important is that we then start trying to give that back to God and remind ourselves this stuff is not our job. Our job is to allow God to have that. One of the things we talked about in the Calming the Chaos, Slaying the Chaos workshop is how to visualize actually handing that over to God. My visualization is I wrap it up in a present, because it isn't my present, but maybe it's his present, and I hand it over and lay it at his feet. And then one of our wonderful collective members said that then they imagine actually walking away without it, because then you're giving it to God and you're not trying to take it back, because that's what we typically do, is we try to take it back. So I hope this information's been helpful for you guys. I would love to hear in the comments what you think. I would love to hear in the comments what you do, if there's something different that you do with the impending doom. I would love to hear more about your journey. And if you're new to the group, welcome. We're excited to see you. This group is really about a collective of beautiful, beautiful women and very supportive, amazing individuals walking this journey of calming the chaos. And how do we get out of this concept of we have to do this alone. Community is important when we try to do this for accountability and for getting out of our own heads and being a part of a collective. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me. If you would like to just book a call to talk and say, here's what's going on in my world, I am happy to do a consult as well. And so just message me and we will make that connection. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is just keep inviting people. This is a community of people that relate to each other and understand anxiety and understand what we want to do about it, and not always knowing exactly what to do. But as these beautiful collective members will tell you, this stuff is much better in community than it is out of community. And if you're having anxiety about inviting people, because I know that certainly happens to me, just push the button. They're not going to be mad. They may not think that they need it, and that's okay. But what if you bless someone with a place to come to really help get the anxiety out and start living the life that our faith really encourages us to live. So you guys have a beautiful weekend. I'll be in and out this weekend, but of the group, but just want to encourage you to post and make this group your own and have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye, guys.